Hey everyone, I'm really excited about today and I'm speaking with Yvonne. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm just gonna add her. If you haven't seen any of the promo, hey Lelina, hey Yvonne. If you haven't seen any of the promo, today's just gonna be around like therapy and healing. And yeah, so I'll add Yvonne and give everyone some time to get started or to join. There she is. Loading. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Nice to see you.
You too. I love your accessories. They look pretty.
Thank you. I thought I'd make an effort.
Yeah, you should have seen my hair before.
No, I like it. I like the bow and everything. It looks
Thank
lovely.
you. Thanks. I'm going to give everyone like a minute more to join because a few people messaged in their questions because they weren't able to make it.
Okay, right.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Busy, but good.
Oh, that's
Getting on with
that's nice.
yeah.
So I guess like while we're waiting, it would be nice if you could like introduce yourself and what you do.
Okay, so as everyone knows, I'm Yvonne J. Douglas, but I do also go by another name called the Starseed Alchemist.
Yeah.
And that's due to a lot of the spiritual work that I do. I am a powerful energy empath and goddess, and I heal sensitive souls so that they can create the magic that they want in their lives. I'm a healer by birth, so I do counseling, coaching, soul guidance, spiritual healing, the works. I'm also an author of 4 books. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
That's great. So yeah, I won't hold on any longer. I'll get into it. But
Okay.
yeah, so people may or may not know this, but I've used your service, and
Hmm.
one of the things I've noticed about your process or your method is that you encourage your clients to face their past traumas in order for them to like create and live the lives they want,
Hmm.
like fully and freely. Why would you say it's important for mums in particular to heal from their trauma?
Well, because if you don't heal from your trauma, you can pass that trauma on to your children, and then you're creating the perpetual circle or cycle of transgenerational trauma. So it's if you don't want your children to suffer like you did, then it's best to with your past traumas. And the thing is, a lot of because, for example, you may grow up and say, "I'm not going to be anything like my mum. I'm going to just do everything different." But if you don't have the conscious awareness of what is different and heal your traumas, you may unconsciously still perpetuate the same behaviors in bringing up your children. For me, I started counseling when my children were very young, and luckily enough, I was able to learn a lot of new parenting tips from my counselor at the time, because the way I was parented wasn't healthy at all. So it's very important, if you're going to have children, if you're a mother, I would highly recommend that you deal with your traumas so that you can affect change for your children, your grandchildren, and future generations.
Okay, so I'm going to get into a few questions that other mums had now. So, how can we go about having conversations with family to begin the healing process? I knew you was gonna like that one.
Well, you could try. Oftentimes, I find within my practice that there's always one person in the family that feels different and they want to create change. They're the ones that want to heal. But oftentimes, the rest of the family don't necessarily want to. And this may prove very difficult for the person that wants to heal in approaching conversations, because they may meet resistance. So if you are that one, then I would tread carefully. Don't be put off by naysayers within the family. Continue on your journey and lead by example, rather than telling the family, "Oh, this, you should be doing this, you should be, I've learnt this." And maybe lead by example instead of trying to speak to the family and trying to get them to you know, follow suit. It just, you have to gauge where that person, that family member is at. And if they are open, then or by all means do. But if they are not, don't force the issue, because it will just frustrate you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I had a feeling that you was gonna get into that one.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah.
it's true. Just, you know, even in my own example, for my own life, it's not not hardly any of my family have really gone down this road.
Mm.
And you may also run the risk of divorcing your family, unfortunately, because if you have a real big family secret, okay, where they
Yeah.
want to sweep it under the carpet, which oftentimes they do. They don't want to look at the psychosis that's within the family psychosis, the family madness, because when you're in it, it all feels normal. But when you come out of it and you start to maybe have counseling and start to maybe speak to other people, you realize that, oh, my experience they weren't normal. That's not right. And so you go on this journey, and your family will kind of say, treat you like you've done something terribly wrong. You've betrayed the family. They start calling you the black sheep of the family, but I prefer to call it the rainbow sheep of the family. And you just keep going. You don't, you know, they're toxic and you're becoming less toxic. So
Hmm.
you may have to separate yourself from family members because of the toxicity. And it can be very challenging, very difficult, very heartbreaking, actually. But if you're on your mission to heal,
Hmm.
then you've got to do what's best for you. You've got to think about what is for my highest good, what is for the highest good of my children. Do I want myself and my children to be around toxic family members? How is it affecting my children? And you've got to make that decision. You really do.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
like, with you saying that, how would you advise, I guess, like parents or mums to put those boundaries in place to protect and, I guess, keep nurturing what they're trying to create, like a new way of living for their children and their household? How would you
Hmm.
advise them to protect it and put boundaries in place?
Boundaries are definitely important. And, you know, the powerful word no, it's such a short, it's a sentence all on its own.
Yeah.
And it's a very powerful word. And maybe it's just about starting to say no and saying yes to yourself and your children, your family. And, you know, you may, if you grew up in a family where there was, you know, emotional abuse or sexual abuse, why would you want your children around those people or that particular person? You know, safeguard your children and teach your children the new way of being, the healthy way of being, and teach your child that it's okay to say no. You know, for example, when little children, they're so cute, aren't they? They're so cute. Everybody wants to pinch their cheeks, everybody wants to kiss and cuddle them. But children sometimes don't want to kiss auntie so and so or uncle so and so. And they
Hmm.
know. And parents will say, don't be rude, go and kiss so and so. Actually, the child has a right to say no. Children pick up on energy. They're very, very smart. So if they feel that an uncle or an aunt is off, don't force them. Allow
Hmm.
them to say no. It's very important that children are allowed to say no. Very important. So put in the boundaries. You know, if you don't feel safe or if you don't feel comfortable at family gatherings, you don't have to go. You have a choice. You know, everybody at Christmas time, or you know, or that holiday season that they call Christmas,
Yeah.
everybody wants to be with family. It's about families. Yes, yes, it is about being with family. But what type of family are you going to be around? Are they loving? Are they nurturing? Are they healthy? And if not, and if you feel uncomfortable, and if there's going to be arguments and tension and all sorts, why put yourself in that situation? We have choice. We have choice, and we can make whatever choice we want for our highest good. We don't have to feel beholden
Hmm.
to family. And
Yeah.
that's a tough one, because especially if you have been sort of neglected or abused, it will create within you, your inability to be autonomous, perhaps. You may not trust yourself and you may not trust your judgments. You may feel beholden to certain family members because of certain traumas. So this is why it's important to do the healing process so that you can start to regain your confidence and your autonomy and your power so that you can say no.
Sorry, I was just taken aback there. But yeah, because it took me a while to learn that. Like, you don't have to go to everything. And I think with a lot of us, like you said, that whole thing of just being a family is always pushed down our throats.
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel like, oh, is your child going to feel lonely if you don't do the same thing? But it could be worse. Like, you can find your tribe and your family in other people and places. So
exactly. And
yeah.
that's so key, because when you move away from toxic people and you're creating space for healthy people to come into your life. And I always say, even if you're not really connected to your family, you've got your soul family. For me, I feel like my soul family are, the ties to them feel a lot stronger than my blood family, because they love me unconditionally. So get rid of the toxic people, places and things out of your life. Make space for the healthy people to come into your life. Soul tribes are now finding each other at the moment because of what's going on globally. It's great that soul families are really finding each other on their path, which is lovely.
Yeah, it is. And another question is, what are some of the tools we can use to teach ourselves and our families to break unhealthy cycles from carrying on to the next, or to stop unhealthy cycles from carrying on to the next generation? So I think this is more to do with, I guess, families that already have children who they may have passed some things on to already, and how,
Right.
I guess, like, move
Okay.
forward.
So I would say maybe attend parenting classes. Don't be ashamed to get the help that you need. Okay, don't be ashamed that you've come from a toxic family. Okay, because shame will just stop you from doing all sorts. So approach places where you can go to parenting classes to learn new skills on how to parent your child. Go to a counselor so that you can unlearn all the unhealthy traits and habits that you've had, and really create a close relationship with your child. Allow your child to speak, allow your child to cry, allow your child to express their emotions. And sometimes our children come to teach us anyway. So be open with your child, obviously age appropriate, but be open. When I was on my healing journey and my children were fairly young, I ended up in rehab. But when I came out of rehab, I said, right, things have to change, because we're a family, and I've got to do this for my highest good and for your highest good. And, you know, I am the way I was the way I was because of the family that we were born into. Our family of origin were very dysfunctional, and again, age appropriate. And letting them know where they're coming from and the changes that you're going to be making for their highest good. Spend quality time, and nurture yourself, nurture your inner child. That's really, really important, because again, if you've come from a dysfunctional family, your inner child is going to need so much love and attention. And the more you can do it for your inner child, the more you will be available to your children. Sometimes some parents feel agitated by their child. They may feel frustrated, or they may struggle to be emotionally present for their children. And that's because they're not emotionally present for themselves. So the more you learn that for yourself, the more you're going to be there for your child.
Sorry, I'm seeing all the love hearts. I'm just like, I wish I could press it too. Because I was in that one. But yeah, you touched on about like how parents respond to their children. And what I've noticed about my son, and I always say this to you, is like, he's my mirror. And I guess, like, how do parents like face themselves through what their child is showing them about themselves without feeling that shame and taking it personally, and I guess becoming a bit defensive like some of our parents may have? and just exploding emotionally or even sometimes physically onto them. So
that's such a good point, and that is so, so true. Our parents, they couldn't handle the mirror that they were seeing about themselves, and so then yes, they would explode. They would hit us. They would chastise us. They would, you know, be aggressive. No, no, we can't be doing that with our children. Think about it. You have a child that comes through your vortex. Your child is a gift. They're gifted to us. And we have to treat them with the utmost love and respect. So why would we hit children? Why would you hit your children? That to me doesn't make any sense at all. You know, this loving, fragile being. No, we don't hit our children. We will talk to them, discipline them, absolutely. And the discipline has to come from a place of love, not anger. Do not take out your frustrations, your negative emotions on your children. If your child does something and you're really angry at the time, calm yourself down before you may approach them. You know, obviously, if you're out on the road and your child might run off and they're in danger because they might run into the road, then obviously, yes, you might feel very scared, and angry. But when you do speak to the child, just say to them, "You really scared me because I thought you were going to be knocked over. Please be careful. Do not run out in the road. It's very unsafe." Do you see the difference in how
yeah.
you can talk to your children, even if you do feel quite hyped up with emotion? But do not discipline in anger.
Mm-hmm.
Anger in love.
Yeah. So with that, not disciplining in anger, how important is it for parents to know when to say sorry and allow their child to express, I guess, because even my son, I shouted at him the other day and he said, "Do you know what you can do instead of shouting?" And he told me today after school. So I'm like, I had to write it down on my phone to remind him to tell me what I can do instead of shouting. So I think just like, and you helped me a lot with building those conversations with him. But
Mhm.
it took me saying sorry and like even if my pride was there, coming back to him when I kind of reflected and still coming and saying sorry. So how I don't know, I think there's shame around just being a forward thinking parent. So how do parents like open up and just let it be and just let their child come and do what they're meant to be here to do for them?
You know, it's. I love your child. I love your son. It's so fantastic. Wow, wow, wow. And
Great. Yeah.
allow our children to be your teacher. Just allow them, you know, obviously within the right boundaries, because
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they're protected and safe and loved. And saying sorry is such a loving thing to do. And admitting that you've made a mistake, there's no shame in that because none of us are perfect. We're not trying for perfection. It's not possible. It's not possible really to be a perfect parent. You know, we're learning along the way. And the more we learn, the more we grow, the more we can just let that pride, that self-pride go, because it doesn't serve you, doesn't serve your child. Just being humble enough to say sorry when you know you've done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's no shame in that at all. That's false shame to think that, oh, I'm ashamed to say sorry. Saying sorry is a beautiful thing. It's a loving thing. And just think about how you bring up your child is how they're going to evolve as a human being. How do you want your child to evolve as a human being? Do you want them to be violent? Do you want them to be aggressive? Because if you are, they will be. They
Yeah.
learn from us. You know, I remember when my son was about 3, I think, I was complaining about him. I can't even remember what about, but I was complaining about him. Someone said to me that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Yvonne.
Ooh.
And
That must hurt.
instead of being offended, I really took that on board. And I just thought, ah, I need to make some changes. And that's what I did. So our children mirror us. They watch us so much. They can pick up a lot of subconscious cues and everything. You know, you pretend you're happy. They know say you're not happy. Yeah? They know. Don't try and fool your children. They're smart. They've not long come from source energy. Don't forget. Yeah? So they're very open to spirit, and they can see things that we may not see. So yeah, just be humble enough to say sorry when necessary. And your children will appreciate and love you for that. And then you're teaching them those qualities as well.
That's true. And so important, because I even feel like now, with all of the children being back in school, like the government's not going to say that a lot of them are finding it really hard. I picked up my son from school the other day, and another boy in his class was crying all day, the teacher said. And it was so annoying, but his dad, like typical like Afro-Caribbean dad, said, "Why are you crying? Are you a baby?" I thought, oh God, that was your opportunity. It's hard. Like some children are happy to be back at school. Some children are quite moody. Cameron was moody the first week. There was no trying to encourage him to be positive about being back at school. And I guess just like with you saying about finding new ways to parent and include your children in that process too, how can a lot of parents feel like they're starting over again? A lot of like ugly truths were presented to them during lockdown.
Yes.
I guess like where do they even start if they do, now that they know that they need to make changes? Like, because like I guess being a functional, healthy family is completely new to them. Where would you advise them to start, whether it's through like books or whatever else?
You know, it's so true that it's like a fresh start for everybody. You know, the home truths were faced in we had the time to stop and be still and to really see the truth of our existence. So, you know, if you feel that, yes, actually, I need to make some serious changes, then get some books on parenting, go to parenting workshops, go to self-help workshops. There's so many books out there, you know, just Google and whatever topic it is that you want, and find what it is that you need. And if you have had serious trauma and you've not dealt with it, go to therapy. Go to therapy and release that trauma. You know, it's very difficult to deal with that kind of stuff on your own, because what a therapist will do for you is help you become aware of all the unconscious stuff that you're not aware of due to the traumas that you've gone through. So don't be scared to ask for help. I think it's great that you've created this group as well, and I wish you every success, and I'm sure it's going to grow and really help mothers within the community, you know, find a support network of women, mothers who are doing the same, who are on this journey of self-discovery, growth and healing, and create that network whereby you can support one another. You know, this is a beautiful thing that you're doing. Yeah, so those are the things that I would highly, highly recommend.
Yes, because I was going to ask you about like building communities, because a lot of things were based online, and usually like mums would meet other mums in the parks and everything else. But you come online, and I guess it's curated. A lot of people's pages that have the big following and have, I guess, most of their engagement, a lot of their feed is curated, and I feel like a lot of mums come online and sometimes feel like they can't speak their truth, so then it's hard for them to find their tribe when they're not pretending but holding back. So I guess like I think you've utilized like your social media very well, and even on Clubhouse, I love joining your rooms. How would you advise mums to use social media in like healthy ways? Because I know sometimes you even have breaks as well. So
Yeah, sometimes I'm a bit absent from social media, and I need that because I need to recuperate sometimes. Just be mindful of the groups that you go into, suss them out, and make sure you get a vibe for the group. Do you feel comfortable in this group? Do you feel like you can trust the people in this group where it feels safe for you? That's really important. You know, a lot of people who have been through trauma or dysfunctional families, they may not feel safe, they may not trust, and that's really important. So I would say one of the biggest things that we have to learn to do as mothers, as women, is to trust your intuition. Learn to trust your intuition, and because it never lies to you. So if you go into a room or you go into a social media platform and you feel like, trust it, come off. Trust it, you know. Yeah, and just be mindful of where you are, and create relationships, develop relationships first before. If you do feel a bit, oh, I can't talk about this, create the relationship, develop the relationship until you do feel comfortable, and then you're able to speak. But one thing I would say, I did post a post today about shame. You know, shame will keep you quiet. It will make you feel like you can't speak out. But the post was saying, if you name it, you can tame it. If you feel it, you can heal it. And if you share it, you can bear it. And that's so important with trauma, and being able to trust. Find people that you can trust, and so that you are able to be open and honest. It's important to be honest about what you're going through and not hide anything, because they say a problem shared is a problem halved. And remember, you are not alone. You are not alone. So many people have gone through similar things to yourself. So whatever it is you're going through, you're not the only one. And when you share it, it's such a relief. It's like you just let go of a load. And it loses its power. The more you share it, it loses its power over you. And then you can reclaim your own power.
Yes. I feel like we're in a session. I'm just there listening. No, but
It's fine, it's
I'm
fine.
so grateful and happy that you're like sharing all of this. I know it's going to help so many people. But,
I'm sure it will. I hope so too.
yeah, it will. But yes, to move on to like relationships now, a few mums sent in questions about relationships. How does someone stop letting past traumas affect a new healthy relationship?
Deal with the past traumas.
No. There's no way around it.
No way around it. The thing is, you know, you may do a vision board for a relationship. I want a man that is lovely. I want a man that is loyal, kind, caring, supportive, financially free, sex, sensual, faithful, ambitious. You got your list, yeah? You've got your list. And you end up with something the complete opposite. And you think, but I put it out to the universe. I put that list out to the universe. What's going on? Because you're not in alignment with what's going on in your subconscious. Trauma gets stored in the subconscious. So if you've gone through these sort of traumas, you're going to attract the opposite of what it is that you really want, because your subconscious is running the show. So until you can clear out the crap that's in your subconscious, release the traumas, it's very unlikely you're going to find a decent partner.
Yeah.
Some people may, and that partner is there to help them heal. There may be a soulmate that can help them heal on their journey. But more often than not, you're going to find what you're not looking for. And then, and if you do end up in that kind of a relationship and it doesn't work, always look at, okay, now I know what I definitely don't want. Also, what did I learn and how has it made me grow? If we can look at our relationships in that way, instead of becoming really bitter, it makes a big difference. And then you can think, okay, I'm going to release all that and give myself some time. Be comfortable being on your own. Be comfortable being on your own and developing yourself, developing your self-esteem, becoming comfortable with your divine feminine power. Be comfortable on you. Don't jump from relationship to relationship. Many people are scared to be on their own. And if you don't want to be on your own, if you don't like your own company, why would somebody else like your company? Yeah. So developing this relationship, as someone just said, yes, developing this relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you are going to have on this planet, the relationship with self. And once you are comfortable with that, then yeah, go and then find a relationship with someone else. It's not necessarily going to be perfect, but it's about what you're wanting to move away from the dysfunctional relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, a lot of women who have been traumatized in some way, shape, or form, they feel comfortable with the bad man.
You went there.
The road man. Yeah. No, 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 no. We don't want that. That's not what you want. And the reason why you feel comfortable with that is because you're not used to having good men around you. Maybe your father was absent. Maybe your father was violent. Maybe your father was abusive. Maybe your father was there, but just emotionally unavailable. And that's the daddy wound. And because of that, you will be attracted to emotionally unavailable men, men who haven't got any ambition, men who don't know how to love themselves, let alone love a woman, men who are not in touch with their emotions, not in touch with their feminine side as well. That's not the type of man that you want to attract into your life. So develop that relationship with self and love yourself. Love on yourself. Spend time with yourself. Nurture your inner child. And the more likely you are to attract a good man.
Yeah. Because even with you saying that, I know the person that put this question in, her partner is like really great, but I think for her it's more so that she sometimes feels past things coming up and she has fears around, I guess, taking next steps with him.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, again, like, would you advise her, I guess, dealing with her stuff?
Definitely. Because sometimes you may not feel that you're worth it of having a lovely partner, and you will sabotage that, create you will create drama, create things that are not necessarily there, that are not real, and then you may sabotage that relationship because you haven't dealt with that wound where you feel unworthy, or you feel you do not deserve, or you may feel less than, or you may feel unloved, or you may have abandonment issues or rejection issues. All these things, deal with them, let them go. We are moving into the 5D, yeah, the age of Aquarius. All that stuff doesn't belong there. We need to let it go. We are ascending. Humans are evolving. Our DNA is upgrading. And all that, we need to just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Not carry it around with us.
Yeah. I think everyone's feeling this. But, and next question is, healing looks different for everyone, but what is the first active step after saying, I can't keep pushing these things under the rug anymore?
I need help. I need help. And I need someone to help me. And it doesn't make you weak to ask for help. It's actually a strength. Seek the help that you need. And be prepared to invest in yourself. Time, money. Invest in yourself. So many young women, they will say, oh, I can't afford that. Yes, you can. You can. If you spend money on nails and hair and eyelashes and drink and cigarettes and weed, you can afford. Because all those things are a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to therapy, you will realize, I don't need to spend so much money on hair. Well, I don't. And all the external things, because you start to love yourself from within and your inner beauty will shine out. And you won't need to spend that money on all those frivolous things. Yes, makeup is nice. I've got a bit of lipstick on and stuff, but we don't need to go to extremes. We just don't. Invest in yourself. You are worth it. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. They say, I can't afford it because they actually don't feel worthy.
Mm.
But you are worthy to invest in yourself like never before.
Oh, I think she's basically saying she joined at the right time to hear what she needed to hear. So
Oh, yes,
it works out in one time.
that's really good.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, sorry. I keep on just getting too into it, like forgetting to ask the questions. But yeah, moving on, it just flew into it anyway. But self-care and having an identity outside of being a mum and a partner is important. And after lockdown, like I guess a lot of mums are finding it. Well, we're still in lockdown, kind of. But I guess like how can mums get back into that routine of putting themselves first, like whether it's financially or just going for a walk in the park one day, like how do they reassure themselves that they need it again?
You have to remember that before you were mum and before you were a partner, for you, you were Makeda. For me, I was Yvonne. And I'm still Yvonne and you're still Makeda. Yeah? Remember that and put yourself first. And this might sound, people might think, put yourself first, but I've got children, I've got to put them first. No, you don't. You
Mm-hmm.
put yourself first, because by putting yourself first, you fill up your cup. You fill up your cup so that you are able to be there for your child. When you are running on a half empty cup, you're giving your child, you're not giving your child the best of you. You will be frazzled, you will be anxious, you will be angry, you'll be agitated because you're not filling up your cup. You know, I always say, fill up your cup till it's overflowing. And the overflow is in the saucer.
Mm-hmm.
And then from the saucer, that's what you give to others. And that's where you are a powerful sorceress. So put yourself first. Self-care. Have those hot, steaming luxury baths in the evening. Rest your bones. Go for that walk. Read a good book on personal development. Do some journaling. Meditate. Spend time with yourself so that you are calm. Create that inner peace. And imagine what kind of mother you would be and partner you would be.
So I'm doing it again. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm like,
It's fine. It's fine. So,
yeah, because even with you saying that, I think like the first week I was like, yeah, like Cabby, like you're back at school now, like get focused, get focused. And I realized that was coming from a place of me feeling anxious and feeding into all the messages that are being sent to us right now. And even with you saying like the self-care and everything, like after our session a couple of weeks ago, I just started to do more for myself, like have my long baths and drink the teas I want to do and take my time. And I found that like this weekend and this week, I've just said to him, just do your best. That's all you can do. So I guess with like a lot of parents that are feeling anxious about their children's future, like I'm not saying that school and education doesn't matter, of course it does. But how do they kind of put their child's well-being before like qualifications and stuff right now that they're kind of concerned about?
do you know, the educational system isn't really fit for purpose anyway.
Like that the hard way.
You know, if you've got young boys are so boisterous, they want to play and they want to explore and they want to experiment and stuff, and they're not allowed to do that. They're just shoved in this classroom and expected to sit still for like how many hours a day. You know, if you can homeschool, go for it. You know, if you can, but not everybody can. Not everybody's got that educational standard that they would have liked to have. Not everybody's got the patience to do that. But you know, I would just say, focus on what your child loves. Focus on what your child's natural talents are, and always commend them with the work that they're doing. And you know, a lot of people say when they were young and they came home with a B or a C, the parent would say, why didn't you get an A? None of that. None of that. Yeah. Encourage your child. And even if your child got a D, well done, son, for trying. Well done. You know, and if they need extra help, provide the help with them, sit with them, and, you know, encourage them. Don't chastise them if they're struggling to learn. Encourage them and find out what may be wrong. You know, if they're struggling, maybe they don't have enough playtime. Maybe they feel that, you know, it could be anything. So just develop that open communication with your children so that you can understand what's going on for them. Sometimes there could be overly, not over, there could be something emotional going on with them. Yeah. So take the time to find out. And also maybe they may have what they call learning disability. You know, I don't like the labels, but, you know, maybe the child is dyslexic or dyspraxic and they may be struggling and you might not know. So just be very patient, very calm, talk to your child.
Yes. But yeah, that's all of the questions. I was going to ask you if you have anything else that you want to share, or yeah.
I don't know. Are there any questions in the comments at all?
No one's put anything yet, but if anyone has a question that they would like to ask, like, please put it in and I'll ask.
Okay. The time has gone really quickly, actually. I'm surprised. You know, what I would like to add is that everything is energy. We are energy, and traumas are energy that can get stuck in the body. So we need to just release that, release it. It's a process that all humans need to go through. Most humans are traumatized, to be fair. You know, we've lived on a planet that has got so much darkness, so much trauma, and it's all coming up now on a collective level, but also on an individual level. The darkness is coming up. So we need to be prepared and open to do the shadow work. We you know, it's just do it. And don't judge yourself, but have lots of compassion for yourself. Because when you think about your childhood, did you receive compassion? Were you nurtured? Were your parents emotionally available to you? Were you allowed to express your emotions? Did you suffer any traumas? So, you know, and if the answer to that is yes, then you need a lot of compassion. I just saw a question flick. Sorry, I didn't.
I think it says how to manage stress with children, especially now.
Meditate and get your children involved in the meditation. You know, they're going to love it. And don't give up if it's a bit problematic at first, or if the child might want to run around. Just keep going. Practice makes perfect. And meditate with your child. Go for walks with your child. They love the park. Hug some trees. That will calm them down. And if you're stressful, again, I mentioned journaling. What is stressing you out? Are you not spending enough time with yourself and for yourself? I remember when I was younger, I was always in the GP surgery. This stress, that stress, this thing going on, this. It's because I had so much trauma that I wasn't addressing. And I hardly ever go to the GP now. And I probably won't again after this scandal. But yeah, deal with what's going on inside. Sit still, be still enough to know what is going on. Why am I stressed? Someone says she prays with her children. Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Wow.
Yeah. Children love a prayer. They do.
They do. And walking sometimes.
Absolutely. Walks in nature. And if you're going to watch TV, maybe watch nature shows with them. Be mindful of what you're allowing your child to digest. Not just food-wise. Again, this is another thing actually. What are you feeding your children and what are you feeding yourself? Cut out the E numbers in your children if they're really boisterous and all over the place. Cut out the E numbers, cut out the bad foods. Introduce healthier meals, and it will calm them down. And what are they watching on TV? What are they reading? How often are they on PlayStations? How often are they on the computer and the phone? Limit those. Get them to read more. Play games. Play Scrabble or Monopoly with your children. Yeah? All of that. You could, because all those electronic gadgets can play havoc on our brains and your children. Just remember, they're young. So, yeah, go back to the old ways in a way.
Let them play outside.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was a question. I'm just going to check the question. No, I think they've just been putting the questions in the comments. But yeah. No, that was amazing, Yvonne. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm
Thank
glad to
you.
be of help. And if anyone wants to chess, absolutely. Kids love a chess. I remember teaching my child chess, my son chess, and before it didn't even take him very long to start beating me. I just was amazed, you know.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, mums. Be the best mum that you can be for your children and for your children's children. Break the cycles. Break the cycles. And be well. Love yourself. Love your children and your partners if you've got them. And if anybody needs to get in contact with me, I've got links in my bio on Instagram, lots of different things. I've got free course, podcasts for meditation, my link to my clubhouse if they want to join my room. Next week, on Tuesdays, we'll be talking a lot about shame, all the different types of shame. Link with me and follow and just benefit from the free resources that I've got. And if you need further help, just reach out.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me, Makida, and good luck with your mum group. It will grow exponentially, and that it's going to help all the mums out there. Well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Bye-bye.
See you.